Welcome to the Internet Confessional booth, where the internet confesses, we gonna listen, and we gonna talk about them. So come on, y'all, let's see what they talking about today in the Internet Confessional booth.
Girls trip to Houston that went wrong. I hope y'all ready. And if there was a Bible right here, right now, put my hand on the Bible. I'm not lying about nothing that I'm about to say. Because honestly, y'all, I thought like this would never happen to me. Like, you know, you hear stories all the time about the girls on TikTok going on these girls trips. They falling out, they fighting, they ain't coming home as friends. It's always in Miami or in Jamaica or in Mexico. But no, y'all, Houston. Houston. I didn't even follow with nobody because they wasn't my friends, and I was trying to be respectful of my friend and not tell.
I wonder if it's because of money, because baby, Houston is expensive. Houston and Miami, they're expensive. And if you guys hear any thundering, it's raining really bad here. So just a fair warning.
The story, but I'm not gonna tell it in a messy way. But I did give her permission to tell the story, so I'm gonna tell y'all. Hopefully, this don't, I don't want this to blow up only because like I just don't want it to blow up because I just want to tell. Everybody keeps asking me what happened, and I'm just gonna tell it on here, and it's gonna do whatever it does. I am nervous to tell it because I'm like, what if y'all don't agree with me? But like I can admit maybe at some parts where I was wrong, but we'll get to that. I'm gonna try to keep this in one part because nobody wants to listen to multiple parts. So honestly, we just about to jump straight into it. I was supposed to be doing skincare, but I talk with my hands.
We're going to try to keep it one part, but it's about 6 parts.
I ain't gonna be able to do skincare while, I'm trying to talk to y'all. I do have screenshots, I have evidence, I have text messages to show y'all. So whatever I do have to, tag, I'm gonna tag in part 2. I'm gonna tag in part 2. Okay. But let's just get into it. So basically, y'all, I'm going to give code names, but I'm not giving much code names. I'm only going to give code names to the girls that I'm not cool with, but everybody else, y'all can't call my name. I'm not doing all of that because I'm going to forget. So basically, my friend Zai, we've been friends since high school. We got closer over like the past 2 years. We're adults, we relate, we're trying to do things with our life. That's my girl. We vibe on like a totally different level. Like, she's my friend. I can talk about God. We can talk about everything. And yeah, that's just my girl. So once we came back from my birthday trip in October from Atlanta, we talked about going to Houston. Keep in mind, us two plus my best friend, we were supposed to be going to Houston to apartment tour and explore and go out a little bit.
Okay.
So she ended up graduating from college in December of 2024, the December we just had. And originally she invited me on her girls trip to, I want to say it was Jamaica. The original trip, as far as I was concerned, was not to Houston because that was a trip that we planned to go on together by ourselves without her friends. So basically, I get a message from her. She's telling me, we're doing a girls trip to Houston for her graduation trip. She wants me to come, and honestly, I felt like if I didn't come, I would feel bad because she took the time out to come on my birthday trip to Atlanta. Mind you, she lives in Florida, I live in South Carolina, so I'm like, I cannot miss my girls trip. Like, I already told her I would come on her graduation trip. My best friend couldn't even come with me, but I'm like, I gotta go. Because me, I'ma always feel bad if I don't stand on what I say. I'm out of breath. But yeah, so I'm like, I gotta fucking go, I gotta go. I'm gonna try to not curse, for real, because I just cussed on accident. But I'm like, I gotta go. So I'm like, alright, cool. But then I'm like, but wait, her friends are coming. On top of that, y'all, it was 8 of us total. 7 of them coming from Tally, where they're from. 1 of me coming from South Carolina. I'm coming by myself, and I don't know these girls. So of course, I'm low-key like, oh my gosh, like, should I even go? Like, I don't know them. Like, what if they're weird? What if they try to fight me? What if they kill me and kidnap me? Y'all know a whole bunch of shit be going on. And I think like that because I'm not gonna let nobody get over on me. Like, I'm not doing that. And people are crazy. But I sucked it up. I booked my flight, I bought my clothes, like I'm ready to go to Houston, I'm excited, I've never been, and I'm just like, you know what, if the girls are weird, I'm just gonna book me a flight and I'm gonna come back home, I'm gonna change my flight and I'm gonna come back home, because I don't do the weirdness, I am a straight, no BS person. I don't play like that. I might be only 21, but I am grown, I handle my business, I have my own business, I am on my P's and Q's, y'all not gonna play with me. So, we in the group chat, we get asked to this group chat, I'm looking at the itinerary and I'm noticing, I'm like, this itinerary, it don't look like what me and friend was talking about. All I see is club, E. So it's given, we gonna be shaking our ass and we can be big bags. And I'm like, this don't really look too right. Where's the activity? We were supposed to go horseback riding. We didn't do that. The only activities we did was pole dancing, and we did art museum. There was supposed to be way more on there than what we actually did. I'm not a partier, but I also go along with whatever the group wants to do. It's not my trip. I can't take over. But at the same time, too, her friends took over the itinerary. And she called me like a couple weeks before we left, and she was upset because she already was just like, this is not how I'm wanting my trip to go, basically. So we texted in the group chat. We all sent pictures to introduce ourselves. I think that was really for me and Chloe, who's her other friend, who is from there, but she doesn't hang with the girls. She don't know them at all. And also her other friend Naja, which I know Naja. She came on my birthday trip. So we always just send pictures, see how well look, Now I remember, which wasn't a big deal, but sometimes when I would text in the group chat, nobody would respond except Zai and maybe one other person. I can't really remember who. But I was just like, every time I'm texting, like nobody really saying nothing. But I'm also a overthinker, so I'm like, Lexi, don't think too much into it because it's probably nothing. Which at the time I don't think it was anything. We just don't know each other. But whatever. So we get there. Now mind you, I flew in. Zai and Chloe flew in. So they flew in from Florida, I flew in from South Carolina, and we all met at Houston's airport. So we get to the airport, and the rest were driving 10 plus hours because they were scared to fly. Totally understandable. Y'all were too scared to fly. That's why y'all drove 10 plus hours.
Ain't no way.
Right. Okay, so they're still on the way. We're at the airport, and automatically, y'all, I clicked with Chloe. Like, we were in literally throughout the whole trip. I'm like, literally one night we was sitting there, we was talking. I'm like, girl, is you me? Because why are we saying the same thing? Like, I hope I can actually have a friendship with her because we are like, I don't know, I love her a lot. I don't really know her, but I love her. Like, she's so down to earth. Like, she's like a splitting image of me, like who I am on the inside. So yeah, basically we land. I'm already like, dang, like I like Chloe. We go out to eat, and then now it's like we're supposed to be getting early check-in for our B&B. Now, mind you, check-in, of course, like everywhere else, is 4 p.m. Meaning, if we're getting 2 hours early for check-in, we're checking in at 2 p.m. Right? So she's on the phone with her friend. Sai's on the phone with her friend. She's like, yeah. We're just coming to get something to eat because we can't get into the B&B, and they're like, oh, you need to get your money back because why you can't check in, like basically like they trying to play you, like you need to get your money back because why you can't check in, y'all got early check in. I'm in the back seat like, bro, early check in is 2 o'clock, it's literally 12 p.m. Why would we be able to get into the B&B if they literally checked out at 11? Check-in isn't until 2. So automatically I'm like, are y'all slow? But like I wasn't trying to be rude, but I'm also really like, I'm a straightforward person. Like, come on, like we gotta use our brains. Obviously we can't check in because it's not 2 o'clock. Like what? But at the same time too, I don't know y'all, so I'm just like, I'm in the back seat, minding my business. I'm just like, whatever. This ain't even my conversation for real. It's given I'm gonna have to do 2 parts. But yeah, so basically we ended up going, we ate, and then we left there. We went to Jordan Soul Food, it was good. Then we left there, we went to Dollar Tree. Zai was straight, like head was straight on wanting to do goodie bags for them. So we was helping her pick out stuff, and at first she wasn't going to do the goodie bags. Now I can't really recall why she said why she was going to do them, and I'm not going to really say because I don't fully know, but I knew it had something to do with her saying she knew she was going to have to pay something else on the trip because something was going to happen. She knew. So she wasn't really wanting to do the goodie bags, but she decided to do them anyways because she's just like me. When we're hosting things, that's what you gotta do as a host. You do shit like that. That's just how it is. You do stuff like that. Like, come on. So she buys the goodie bag.
If you ever go on a trip with me for my birthday, for whatever, I'm going to provide you like with some pajamas, some like masks, some eye masks, maybe some perfume, like a little bottle of liquor, a hangover kit, a little cute bag. It's like my thank you gift for you coming on a trip with me, spending your money, spending your time to come on a trip with me. So that's kind of like the norm now. Buying your guests that came to celebrate with you, buying your guests like a little thank you bag or welcome bag or whatever.
She puts everything together. We get to the B&B. It's literally a duplex, so it's house B on the left, house A on the right. We picked house B. There was 3 rooms in each house with clean beds, and they all had 2 bathrooms. So one of the girls who was riding with them from, from Florida, that's the girl who came on my birthday trip. So I knew her. So I said, well, Zai, so we have an even number. Bring her to this house. The two sisters can share a room, and the other two get their own room. You and Naja can share a room. Me and Chloe get our own room. It was simple. So I get in the house, we was at the dollar store, I bought spray and stuff. I'm bleaching down our toilets, I'm spraying our covers, because we finna take a nap. Like, we done been up since 5 a.m. We only got 1 hour of sleep last night. Like, it's time to go to bed, I'm not gonna lie. So, this is a long story, I'm not gonna with you. So now, it's like, okay, time to take a nap, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't fall asleep immediately because I was editing a TikTok vlog. So, I hear banging on the door. As soon as I'm starting to close my eyes, because I'm tired, I hear... And I can't really hear what they're saying, but it was giving yelling, like, open up, like, we here. So I'm like, oh, now I gotta meet these girls, like, oh my gosh. Like, I was a little nervous because I've never met them before, I've never seen them, I don't know anything about them. So I'm like, okay, like, it's time to meet them. So I really don't want to do too many parts. But, okay, comment part 2 for part 2, because the next part is where it's gonna get interesting, I promise. I just kind of have to give y'all a backstory. Like I said, I don't want it to be too messy, so I'm gonna try to keep it cute. You know what I'm saying? But like, also, it got really messy, and it got really messy when the trip ended. When by the time we got home, they decided to bump guns. But comment part 2 for part 2, and I will post it. But I'm gonna keep it respectful because, that's just how I want to keep it respectful. Okay, part 2 of how the girls' trip went left in Houston. Hopefully it's not much of a quality switch because I have to switch phones because the receipts is on here. The receipts is on this phone. So yeah, all I hear is, I remember getting a text saying they were like an hour out. And that's when I was starting to fall asleep. So I hear knocking on the door. And in my head, I'm like, Zai, get up and get your friends. Because I'm not getting up to open the door for them. I don't know them, so you gotta go get them. So, now me and Chloe, our room is in the back of the house. Zai's is more so like in the front of the hallway. We're at the back of the hallway. So keep that in mind. So I come out my room. Once I hear Zai open the door, but I'm like, well, people are coming in here, we're laying down, let me get up. So I get up and I go inside the living room and I see the first girl in the hallway. We're gonna call her Blondie. So I see Blondie, and this video is no shade to any of you girls. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm telling the story. Like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all did have me messed up a few days ago, but now I don't care no more. I'm just telling it because it's my experience and I gotta share it because I didn't think it was gonna happen. But yeah, anyways, back to the story. I see Blondie, and I'm gonna always speak, so we both say, I don't know who said it first, but we both said hey, and I was like, hey, like, how you doing, da-da-da. That was that. So then I walked back to my room to grab my blanket, and then I came back out, and that's when I saw another girl come in, and we're gonna call her Oreo. Now, I actually was like, dang, Oreo attitude is not that good, but also, over the day.
I wonder why she giving them these particular names, Blondie. I'm assuming that she had blonde hair. Oreo, did she have black and white hair? Or do she like Oreos?
The trip, I also did get to learn that she is really to herself, and she's actually cool. Like, she's actually cool. But I only said that because when she came in the door, she did not speak. And I was raised based off of when you come in somebody's house, you speak. When you come in someone else's presence, you speak. So she came in, I had to say hi to her. And I know she saw me first. Or she just didn't say hi at all. She just walked in and just didn't say hi. So I was just like, oh, hey. And she was like, hey, really monotone. And I was like, well, okay, like, whatever. But I think she was sleeping, like I said, she's actually cool. Like, she's actually cool. She proved to be the most mature out of all of them. So, yeah, so she comes in. I ended up saying hey to her, and she ends up walking to the back of the house, and she starts looking around. And I'm like, why are you looking around when your house is over there? Mind you, they're staying in house A. Remember, we're in house B. But she's looking around, and so I walked to the back of the house, and me and Chloe was just kind of looking at each other like, oh, okay, like, whatever. But like I said, she actually ended up being cool. Like, she's cool. So then, again, I walked back up to the front of the house, because I think Chloe came back up at this point, and now I see the two sisters. We're going to call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. Thing 1 is going to be the bigger sister. Thing 2 is the smaller sister. So I don't know who I saw first. I don't know if I saw Thing 1 or Thing 2 first. But off rip, I love their energy because they're like, oh hey, like really bubbly, really sweet, seems really down to earth. So I was like, oh hey, like, how y'all doing? They're like, oh we good. I'm like, okay, like, they seem cool, and they was cool. Like after that, Oreo went over back to the other house. I think she went back to sleep, and we all went outside. Now, I don't really smoke or drink, but they were outside gardening, I think is what y'all call it on TikTok. So they outside, they doing that. And, we were talking, and everybody's cool. I'm like, okay, like, this trip might be okay. Like, now I'm getting a little excited, because I'm like, okay, like, we might be good for real.
Right.
So now they're like, oh, we hungry. And mind you, we already ate, but they was like, okay, y'all, let's go to Kroger. They wanted to go to Kroger, the liquor store, and they wanted to get something to eat. They wanted American Deli. I wasn't really hungry, but we're all going. They said, y'all can ride with us and let's go. Mind you, y'all can ride with us and let's go. Now, me personally, when I go out of town, I'm always flying. I'm used to Ubering everywhere I go. So this whole rental car thing, they had, so remember, it was 4 of them that drove down. Well, 5 of them that drove down. It was an 8-car vehicle. There's 8 of us total. So they offered for us to come in the car with them. Okay. So, okay, cool. Obviously, I'm not going to Uber by myself if everybody else is going. Like, that's just kind of like, okay. So we ended up going to Kroger. American Deli was closed. So Kroger probably was like 10 minutes down the street. After Kroger, Chick-fil-A was like right there. And then we went to the liquor store. Okay. So now we're at the liquor store. I brought my own liquor. I had 2 green tea shots, a small shot of Don Julio, some on the rocks, and I had XXL wine. So I didn't even want to participate in the liquor buying. But because I was trying to be a good sport, when they said this is how much money we gotta all put in for the bottle, I just...
Baby, please change your fire alarm because it's loud. I'm thinking it's in my house and it's in your house.
Take my money because I'm just trying to be a good sport.
Smoke detector, not fire alarm. Excuse me, smoke detector.
Although I did drink a little bit of it, but it wasn't much. But I only drank it because I did end up putting money in it. So now we get back to the house. I'm thinking everything's good. No, wait, am I missing something? Yeah, so we get back to the house, and now they're like, okay, I almost confused the day job. But we get back to the house, and we're like, okay, y'all, now let's, everybody go change into your cheetah print pajamas and meet back in our house, I think at 11 or 12. So we get back over there, and I wasn't really drinking because honestly, I was still trying to feel the vibe out. At some points of the night, I was getting like, kind of like, feeling like weird looks, but at the same time too, I don't know y'all girls, so it was just kind of like, I'm not trying to think too much of it, but also like, I'm very much sober, so like, I kind of know like, you know, how I'm feeling, but like I said, that totally could not have been the case. I'm not going to say that because that couldn't have been the case. So I wasn't really drinking much, you know, whatever, I'm just having fun. And then, they start setting these alarms. Oh, there's something on my phone, like it's a bug on my ceiling. They start setting alarms for everybody in the group had to set an alarm, and when the alarm went off is when we had to take shots. Now, I think this is where everything went downhill at because obviously they're gonna get drunk. But mind you, I made me a lemon drop, so I was sipping all night. I'm not taking shots because I don't know y'all. I'm not comfortable enough around y'all to get drunk. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm not comfortable enough. So I was very sober actually. So now it's like, okay, so Blondie had a charger. Now I saw the charger because she was sitting next to me the whole night, but I'm not sure it's the charger she thought it was. So Blondie had this charger that she was holding onto all night alongside some cups. So they were like stacked and they were on the floor. So now as the night is ending, you know, they're getting tired, her phone starts to die, right? So she's like, oh, I can't find my charger. Like, I think Oreo took my charger. She's the only one who has an iPhone 16 and I have a 15, so we both have C cords. And I'm like, ooh, okay. So I'm like, okay, well, let me help you look for it. So I'm scrambling around the house. I looked at the refrigerator. I looked at the freezer. I was up on cushions. I was moving couches. I was doing everything trying to help this girl find her charger because she was mad. She was livid. And I'm like, well, dang, like, she was really, really upset about this charger and accusing this girl of taking her charger. So, like, in the midst of us looking at stuff, they're going back and forth in the room trying to tell the girl, like, hey, we think that's Oreo. We think that's Blondie's charger, like, whatever the case is. She like, no, this is my charger, blah, blah, blah. So I ended up stepping outside. Now, I don't know who the 4th person was outside with me, but this was the first red flag that I picked up about this friend group. And I hope that they, well, you know, actually, Oreo do know about it now because my friend told her. I step outside and I'm outside with thing 1, I think I said was the bigger one, I think. And I was outside with Blondie, right? Right? Like I said, this was the first red flag. So they're basically saying like, oh, like, I don't even know Oreo for real. We just work with her. Like, she's not really my friend. Insinuating that that's more so Zai's friend and they don't really care about her. I don't even play with her like that. Now, this is what Blondie's saying because she's mad about her charger. I don't even play with her like that. Like, I mean, just going on and on. I was like, ooh. So in my head, I'm like, this is my first impression of y'all. And mind y'all, also, this was the second red flag. The first red flag was when we was in the car on the way to like the liquor store or something. Whatever we was on the way with, they were talking mad trash about this old friend, this old girl that they used to be friends with, who none of them are no longer cool with, but dragging her name. And I had one of my AirPods in, I couldn't fully hear the full conversation, but I'm just like, wow, like, and in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, if Zaya falls out with these girls, they are going to drag her name. These are nobody's friends. And that was the first red flag, was in the car, me hearing them talk so bad about that girl. And then now I'm on a porch and her two friends are talking about her. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be messy, so I never said anything in that moment. I just kind of mentally noted it. I'm like, I see how y'all moving, and I think something bad is going to happen on the trip. My discernment already told me from jump, do not go, because I already knew it was going to be some shady mess. But I'm like, something's going to happen. So I went back inside, y'all, and I kid you not, as we're talking, like, they're literally talking about the whole charger situation. I started recording on my phone, so hold on. Now, this is more so me just kind of recording, like, I'm just recording my face. I'm, like, low-key drunk. Like, I was about to post on my close friends and be like, oh, the girls are arguing. But they weren't arguing. They were more so just speaking. But just listen. Now, I don't feel bad. Oreo. Thing one. So, I'm saying, how did that charge? That's not a charge. She said she came out of her with her charger. So that was basically Oreo just saying she never took her charger out the wall. So basically, Blondie ended up going inside the room, snatching the charger out the wall. And Oreo gets mad and she's like, she comes out the room, storms out the room. She's gonna have to go to the store because she needs her charger, and basically she's not gonna go back and forth with the girl. More of the story, when I looked at the cords, I have an iPhone 16, 15, and 14.
Okay.
16 has a different charger. The cord is riffled. Every other cord is smooth and straight on the C charger. So I was like, yeah, actually, like, and I'm like telling them, like, no, that's not her charger, that's not her charger. But basically, her charger ended up being in thing 1 and thing 2 room. So basically, Oreo ended up telling Blondie that she did not like how she came at her about it when, you know, the whole time that was her charger. But that was just the second thing I realized, like, ooh, like, y'all are messy. Okay, y'all, part 3 of the story time, of the girls trip that went left. Now, y'all gotta watch this in 2x because these are long. I told you I have to give y'all every single detail so y'all know I'm not tripping. Like, I have to give every detail. I have to fully explain myself. So yeah, I'm like, ooh, y'all is messy. Like I said, mind y'all, this is my first impression of y'all. Y'all is nobody's friends, and I picked it up off rip. I picked up on all these girls' character, and I was like, But like I said, I'm keeping respectful because these is my friends' friends. I don't gotta deal with these hoes when I leave. That low-key gave big legs confessionals. But yeah, so I'm like, ooh, this is messy, but I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep. It's like 2, 3 a.m. I'm tired, like, it's time to go to bed. So we go back over to our house, and I'm showing the girls in our house the chords. I'm like, yeah, y'all, like, high key, like, and they're like, girl, like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, that's real crazy. So then me and Chloe, I could tell me and Chloe was like low-key giving side eyes, but at the same time too, y'all, this whole trip when I was peeping little stuff, I never wanted to say anything to Chloe because I thought Chloe was close with them, but come to find out, that was her first time meeting them as well. So yeah, now we go to sleep, wake up the next morning, and I believe this morning is when we had our pole dancing class. I have to refer back to the itinerary on all, like, on the story time, so I can make sure I have everything together. So basically, remember, we got a rental because, well, I don't know if I told you that part. We got a rental because we landed at 9 a.m. and we didn't have nowhere to put our bags. We needed to drive around. So we had to take our rental back to the airport. And I remember the night before, the girls were complaining because they did not want to get up. We had to return the rental at 9:30. So I ended up being able to push it back to 10:30. They did not want to get up and take us, and come and meet us at the little return rental car place and bring us back to the pole dancing class. That was too much driving. They didn't want to do that. So we said, okay, cool. We'll Uber from the place to the pole dancing class. Keep that in mind. That's the time we did not ride with them. So yeah, we go to the pole dancing class. We take the car and then we get to the pole dancing class. We all go inside, we do the pole dancing, whatever. We leave out of there and now they're like, we're hungry. I told y'all they're back to vague. But also, on this itinerary, nobody scheduled brunch except for one day. The whole itinerary to me was messed up, but whatever, we'll talk about that another time. So yes, we get in the car and we're on the way to a restaurant. I just remember them kept saying, baddie, shot o'clock, take shots. And literally, I kid you not, the whole time on this trip, I'm like, is nobody concerned for their health? Why are we taking shots at 9 a.m.? Tequila at that. There's no...
Girl, because that's what you do on a trip, on a girl's trip, on a vacation. Baby, it ain't no scheduled time to take no shots. It ain't no scheduled time to take no drinks. Baby, you wake up drinking. You drink your mimosa with a shot. Baby, that's what it is. That's the medication for a trip. You wake up, take a shot. Hello. Get with it.
Nobody want food on their stomach? Like, what in the world? So yeah, we ended up going to Chill Burgers after the pole dancing class. And then I remember we left there, and then I look up and we're at a gas station. This is where it gets low-key messy. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know we was even gonna get gas. I got my AirPod in because honestly, I use my AirPod as comfort. It's like a kid with their blanket. I use my AirPod when I'm in big groups of people, around people I don't know. I get really anxious and nervous. I keep an AirPod in my ear. That's what I do all the time.
Yeah.
So I have my AirPod in. I'm looking down on my phone. I think
I kind of do that as well. Like if I'm going to Walmart or something, I put an AirPod in my ear. I may play a radio. I may play like some music or something, but I put my AirPod in my ear. Even when I'm at work and I'm at my desk, I put on my headphones or something. I don't know if I don't want people to come and say something to me, or like she said, it's something like a comfort thing. I don't know. But yeah, I tend to do that as well.
editing a TikTok or something. And I remember hearing conversation in the front about gas, but it sounded like they were talking amongst themselves. So I'm not getting in y'all conversation. I wasn't addressed. Nobody said Lexi and Chloe, are y'all helping pay for gas? Nobody said that. So I'm in my phone minding my business. So I hear them saying something about something. I'm not paying y'all no attention, like I said I wasn't addressed. So we get back home, and I'm going to tell y'all the message we got. I found it. So, thing 2 says, and she's just so shady, like, but she's like, well, this wasn't shady, but it also was like passive aggressive. But, hold on, let me just read it. So if we're more than likely going to use our renter for the weekend, is there any way y'all can put in? Our money rotation is a little F now, and just to be fair. So we see that, and we like, huh? So then that's when Zai texted, or she called her and told her to come over to our house. I wish I recorded this because I was also vlogging on my YouTube channel. I was always vlogging when I was eating. This is the one time my camera wasn't out. She comes over there, and she's like, yeah, and mind you, she's trying to make it seem like she doesn't feel some type of way, but the other girls feel some type of way, right? She's like, yeah, so the girls, they just feel some type of way because they are upset that y'all didn't at least offer to put in gas, like y'all was riding with us yesterday and today, and y'all didn't offer no gas money, and y'all heard us talking about it, and y'all ignored us, this and that, and I'm like, we ignored y'all, and I was like, I didn't even hear y'all say anything, we weren't addressed, and so Chloe was like, if y'all wanted gas money, or if y'all basically was upset about something, why y'all just didn't say that? Like, why didn't y'all just ask for the gas money while we was in the car instead of y'all feeling some type of way, going home, discussing it, having attitudes and being weird, then send you over here. Now you know, now she's over here trying to play peacemaker, right? So that's what I'm like. Now here is how I felt about it, and I still feel like I'm not wrong for feeling this way. So that's why I'm like, well, I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, y'all are trying to say y'all are on half of the tank, right? Which was $40. They wanted us to put 40. Make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. Hopefully, let's see if y'all agree with me or not. Y'all want us to put $40, and money is not an issue, but y'all want us to put $40 into half a tank when we only drove with y'all to Kroger, everything one area, 10 minutes down the street, that one day, and then back home from the pole dancing class. We probably only rode about maybe $5, $10 of gas in that car. I know that for a fact. So, and that's what I'm telling her. I was like,
okay, I get it. However, if you said it was 5 of them and it was already 3 of y'all, so it's 8 people there. So 8 people divided by 40, what is that? I mean, that's no money. I mean, y'all could have all put in on that, even if y'all only roll in the car for a couple of minutes or whatever, but you know, like that's not a lot of money to complain about, because you could have, you know, like I don't know, like you could have chipped in at $5, just like you said, it's only $5. Y'all only roll like $5 worth of gas. You could have chipped in, but I get what you're saying, but you could have chipped in just to make peace.
You know, now from today forward, from us riding with y'all from the pole dancing class and, you know, the rest of the trip, because we will be riding with y'all, now we can fill up before y'all leave, or the next time y'all go to get gas, yes, we will put in, because y'all are filling up a tank that y'all rode on. That's why y'all on half a tank. And so she's like, basically, she's really not trying to hear none of that. So we like, okay, you know what? We can see you the money. It's not that big of a deal. Money is never going to be an issue with Alexis Simone. We can see you the money. She's like, no, don't worry about sending the money. Just send it to us whenever we go to fill up before we leave, right? That's what she said, right? So I'm assuming she went back over to the other house and made it seem like we wasn't going to pay no money. It gives what happened after we left is given she went over there and tried to make it seem like we still wasn't going to pay. But that was never the case. We literally told her we would have given her the money right then and there, but she said don't worry about it. She is messy. I'm not going to lie. She's really messy. So yeah, that happens, and so when she leaves out, they're like, oh, Lexi, you okay? Now, one thing about me, I'm gonna say my piece, and I'm gonna leave you where you had me effed up at. So I'm like, they're like, oh, Lexi, like, you quiet, you okay? And I'm like, I'm good, but I just feel like that was really weird. The energy, she was like literally throwing passive aggressive energy. Like, you can tell when somebody is trying to play peacemaker, but they're the ones with the actual issue, and that's what it was given. I'm not no dummy, I done dealt with people like this before. But I'm like, you know what, it's cool, like, you know, whenever it's time to give the money, we'll give the money. It's not that big of a deal. So now, it's time to go out. We had dinner reservations at Cray at 9:30. They wanted to leave the house at 8:30. So I remember when we was at Churro Burgers earlier in the day, we're discussing how dinner's gonna go. I personally said we should Uber to dinner and Uber to the lounge, because why are we all riding in this truck and y'all are supposed to be drinking? I don't ride with people who are drinking. I do not like that. And also, I was saying that because clearly y'all had an issue with us riding in the car with y'all. So they're like, no, why would we Uber and we have a car? Like, we'll Uber tomorrow when we're actually going to be drinking, but tonight we'll drive. So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But the whole issue was that they didn't want to come home to change from dinner to club fits because they're wearing what they're wearing to dinner to the club. Now let me read y'all something. On the itinerary, grown and sexy attire, heels, platform, wedges only. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. I gave grown, sexy attire because it's a dinner. You don't wear streetwear to a dinner. You don't wear club wear to a dinner. You come looking like a Barbie doll or a Bratz doll. You look up to par for a dinner. Yes, everybody has different styles, but there's a certain way you're supposed to carry yourself when it comes to classy dinners. That's all I'm going to say. That's why they didn't have to change, because they was wearing the same outfit. And that's no shade, but I'm just saying that ties along. So, you know, whatever the case is, we all ended up going back home, we changed, and now we don't have to be to the next club. We don't have to be to the club until 2 a.m. I'm a granny. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to take a nap. So me and Chloe, we ended up falling asleep, and then they woke us up before it was time to go. So now we get in the car, and we drive to the first club, and I'm gonna just tell this part quick. We drive to the first club. It was apparently $800 to get a section. We left there, went to this other club. It was a gay club. I have no problem with gay people, but it was a male gay club. Outside, nothing but niggas who are gay. I personally told them I'm not going to be comfortable going in there. There's no females. I do not want to go in there. We left that club, went to another club. They was fighting at that club, so it was like, we don't want to go there. We went into another club, and that club was dead. So now some of them started to get an attitude because they're like, well, we don't want to go home. Like, we want to be out till the sun come up. Baby, it's 4 a.m. Y'all messed up this itinerary to the point where we have to be up at 9 o'clock because we have reservations at 11. Y'all don't know how to plan a trip. I'm like, they like, well, what do y'all want to do? And I literally sat there and I told them, don't ask me because I'm going to tell y'all we need to go home and go to sleep. It's 4 a.m. Why are we still out? We literally have to be up. We have reservations in the morning. I think we should go home. But based off of a group decision, I will go with whatever the group wants to do. Simple, because that's how I am. I'm not going to go against what everybody wants to
do. Okay, y'all. This is going to be just part 1. I'm going to get the rest of the story in part 2 because this was kind of long. However, I like how she's breaking down, you know, everything that's going on, but it's really kind of whatever. Like, it's not really like, oh, I got a story time. Oh, it's some tea went down. It ain't really nothing. Only thing y'all really arguing about is some gas that y'all could just put $5 worth. If it's 80 y'all could just put $5 in. That was $40, and then y'all talking about a charger. That's really it. I mean, but hey, like I said, y'all gonna talk about it. We gonna listen, and we gonna talk about y'all. So hey, we're gonna come back for part 2 of the rest of the story. Yeah, see you guys in a little.